Another free agent hits the market as a former first-round pick gets bought out by the Dallas Mavericks. Did they make the right decision? And who might add? Olivier Maxence Prosper. Oh, Max. Now on the market. I'm Trevor Lay. This is the Basketball Bulletin. Make sure you subscribe right here to the channel. Joining me is Donnie Freeman. Donnie, let's talk a little Omax plus the rest of the free agent class who is still available out here on the market. Were you surprised that the Mavs went ahead with this move and bought out really Omax?
Not so much surprise because we had already been kind of hearing that they're trying to figure something out. But yeah, I do think that he's somebody that I could see a number of teams being in on. But otherwise, yeah, I thought they probably should have wanted to retain him, but they must really like Dante, which he was pretty good for them last season anyway.
Yeah, that's what this move is all about for the Dallas Mavericks. It is about uh, making a roster spot so they can sign Dante Exum to their squad. But what this is going to mean, the penalty for doing this, is that now Omax is going to join JaVale McGee as dead money on the Mavs cap for the next 3 years. Now it's not that bad. He was only making $3 million, $1 million dead money on the cap for the next 3 years for Omax. But added with JaVale McGee, you're looking at 3.2 million in dead money sitting on their books. That's okay. Like that's getting to be a little bit of something. But he was a first round pick just a couple of years ago. The shooting never really came around
hmm
for Omax, but I think some team is going to take a chance on him. Still very, very young. At this point, he just turned 23 back in July during the heyday of free agency. And if you look and see again, the points not there for Omax. The real concern is the 3-point shooting percentage, just 24% last season, 29% the season before that. But obviously on very, very low volume, not a lot of attempts. The main thing is he's 6'8, long wingspan, a little bit
Seven
of
foot one wingspan.
yeah, 7'1" wingspan. So there you've got
Yeah.
a guy who fits the physical profile of what so many teams in the NBA are looking for right now.
Yeah, I just did some digging on him while we were going here, and yeah, 6'7", 7'1" wingspan, great defensive potential with that, of course. Really good high motor glue piece out there. But yeah, he's another one of those guys where it's just, are you going to develop the 3-point shooting?
Mhm.
Because there's a very clear archetype for him, what he looks like either way. But he's still young, and I think he's a guy that a lot of teams should be interested in taking a flyer on and trying to see if they can develop him with the shooting. But even if he doesn't develop into like a 38% 3-point shooter or something like that, but if he just becomes somebody that's decently respectable, like 34, 35% on average on okay volume, I think you could kind of live with that. He's a good athlete, all that stuff. Like that's the one thing that really, you're looking for from him. Are there other
Mhm.
things he could improve on? Sure. Like he's not a great playmaker, things like that, but that's not typically what you'd be asking of him anyway. You just want him to go out there and put his physical tools to use. And, if he's able to shoot at all, that'd be a huge bonus for him. So
E
still plenty of time left.
Especially with the young age. Look, is he obviously it's not great that the Mavs, have 2 years removed from using a number 1 pick on him, a 24th overall pick in the 2023 draft,
Mhm.
are now waiving and stretching his salary to get off the contract. That's not a great sign, particularly when everybody knew that the Mavs would trade him, and obviously there weren't any takers there. But could some team who didn't want to just absorb him or didn't want to give up something in a trade, could some team come here and swoop in and grab him off the market? Could some team claim him from waivers? Yeah, we could see something like that happen. And this is, if you're going to do that, if you're going to take a gamble on a veteran minimum player, this is the type of gamble that you want to take, right? Because
Mhm.
if he hits, he will be immensely more valuable than a veteran minimum. And is it a high hit rate? Probably not. Again, not a
No.
great sign when you're getting waived 2 years after, but you'd rather take a gamble on a potential defensive switchy wing than a guard. So, for example, like if I had to pick, and obviously there maybe the little bit of Laker bias coming in, but he was drafted earlier, Jalen Hood Shafino. If I had to take a gamble on Jalen Hood Shafino
Oh,
bouncing back or Omax bouncing back right now, knowing where
yeah.
both players are, I'm going and picking up Omax because I think his skill set is more highly valued around the NBA and more difficult to find at a high
Yeah.
level.
Yeah, firstly, the kid's only 22. Like he just turned 22.
Well, he
So
just
with
turned
that,
23, I think.
oh, okay, 23, my bad. He's only 23. So there's still plenty of time for him. But either way, I think that with him, like you've got, like I said earlier, a very clear, defined archetype for him to turn into
Yes.
a 3-and-D wing. He's got great athleticism, great tools physically, great size. Like he is very clearly the type of player NBA teams covet and are looking for. So if, like I said earlier, if he could develop in any way, like that's going to be huge for him.
Yeah.
But if you need a defensive player that's going to be an off-ball pest, somebody that's going to get, hands on balls, be active in lanes, things like that. He's the type of guy you can plug in right now and you would get that impact. So the thing is that Dallas, while they have some younger players, obviously headlined by Coop, they're not on that timeline though. So
No.
they need players that are ready right now and getting more the exact opposite of him, getting more perimeter creation and exum just makes a lot more sense for where they are right now. It's unfortunate, which is why they tried to trade him and all that stuff first, that they had to wind up just cutting him and moving on from there.
Well, and ironically, you look at the Mavs, they're kind of the inverse of a lot of teams around the NBA where what do they need more? Most teams need more
They need
wings
more young
and
guys.
less guards. And the Mavs are the opposite. The Mav with Kyrie being injured right now, they need Dante Exum
Yeah.
more than they need Omax, especially now with the arrival of Cooper Flag. They don't need the help on the wing. So it makes sense from another. I'm not criticizing the Mavs for doing it. It's unfortunate that they were put in a spot where they ultimately had to, but I do think some other team should take the chance here and give him an opportunity. I'm not expecting him to hit these. It's going to be a low hit rate, but this is the type of guy that you want to take that chance on. All right, so let's look at who else is out there on the market still right now. Free agency, obviously, it is not what it once was, but there's still some players out there on the market. Omax, no joining the group. Let's not forget about Malik Beasley. How available is he? Are teams concerned about the investigation and all that stuff? It seems like that has certainly dwindled or diminished, but Malcolm Brogdon maybe waiting to see what happens. It seems like it's Al Horford, Gary Payton II, D'Anthony Melton. Like those are the guys that are locked on the Warriors, whereas Malcolm Brogdon, at least based on the way it's been reported, is kind of more like, yeah, maybe if there's enough left over, we'll bring in Brogdon. All of it, of course, coming down to Jonathan Kuminga and what happens with his situation. But Malcolm Brogdon could actually be available. It's to the point where I don't look at Al Horford, Peyton II, or D'Anthony Melton as actually free agents
Yeah.
because I think everybody knows they're just going to Golden State.
Yeah, and I would throw Curry in the mix. There was reporting on him too.
Seth,
So
yeah.
um could you imagine if Steph was a free agent?
Oh, that changes everything.
Changes everything. Yeah, but so like if you're Brogdon, for example, if that's the case, what are you waiting for? Unless you really want to go to Golden State, what are you waiting for?
Does he have another opportunity?
I mean, I would think so. If all he's getting is a minimum, why not?
Well, what if the opportunities that are out there are not ones that he necessarily likes, but he thinks that he can win if he goes to Golden State?
Yeah, that was gonna be my next thing. He is already 33 at this point, about to be
Yeah,
33. So he may be looking at it like, let's try to win a championship.
that could be it.
That could be actually what. My God, if they add these guys, we've said it before, but my God, the age is crazy on this team.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
They-
look,
oh my God.
let's put it this way. Make sure whenever the Warriors play the Clippers that the arena is well stocked on ibuprofen.
Oh
Oh,
my
you're gonna need it. There is gonna be they are gonna be sore, they're
God.
gonna be cranky, they're gonna be creaky when those two teams play each other. The average combined age is gotta be the highest that we've seen in a long time in the NBA when you look at the
Yeah.
Clippers roster and the Warriors roster right now.
Insanity. Just when
Yeah.
you add in Brogdon at nearly 33, that would be just ridiculous.
And I
But
don't necessarily fault them. I think both teams are gonna be just fine, but
yeah,
they're up there in age.
they're just
Um,
clearly leaning into this like 1 to 2 year timeline. So
yeah.
there's that. But there's other good guys out here, of course, as well.
Yeah, so I mean, Trey Lyles still on the market. Like he's
Surprising.
about to turn 30, but he's surprising. Yeah, just because look, Trey Lyles, I talked about this a few weeks ago with him. He's not a guy that's going to win you a game, but he's probably not a guy that's going to lose you a game either. You know what I mean? Like you can, hey, I need somebody to go do the job for 10 minutes. Trey
Mhm.
Lyles can do that. Trey Lyles can be that. And that has value on teams, particularly in an NBA that needs depth now more than ever.
Yeah, definitely. I talked him up a good bit last year. I thought that he was or I think for the last couple of years, he's been pretty clearly a good glue guy, role
Yeah.
guy that you can put on your team. Like you said, not going to really do anything that's going to lose you a game, but in limited minutes, he's going to get about, 15 to 20. He's going to just be a neutral guy out there, and he's going to produce for you. Can shoot the ball a little bit, can rebound a little bit, can maybe play a little bit of small ball 4 or 5 for you.
Mhm.
So, I mean, it just depends what you're needing. But otherwise, I mean, I'm just surprised that he's still out there given the stuff we listed. It's not like he's somebody that I thought would sit this deep into free agency at this point, unless he's another one of these guys. Can we just say all the guys like him may potentially be going to Golden State at this point? Because what if he's another guy that's going to Golden State that's just
I
sitting
mean,
there?
I guess he could,
He
but
would
it
actually
would
be an
but
interesting fit.
we have not heard him linked to gold, but he would make sense
He would
as
be
a
an interesting
Warrior.
fit.
And the
Like,
Warriors are
I
the
wonder
only
how many
team
of
that's
these
got that much
guys.
room.
Yeah, but they've got so many spots. I wonder how many teams like or how many guys are potentially not even linked to them, but are just like in limbo. Like, hey, we're just waiting to see if Al Horford actually decides to retire, and if he retires, then here you go.
Are the Warriors just telling every free agent out there, "We will sign you," just to just
Just
to
wait.
keep them all on the hook here?
Just wait. Just wait a minute. We're gonna get you. Don't worry about it. That's the crazy thing about it too to me is that like guys, it's been like a month and a half. Like, just why are you still in limbo? Like,
Because
what's
'Cause they're
going on?
waiting for Kuminga.
I know for them, but I mean the player side of things.
Oh,
Like you guys could have went somewhere else
I
already
mean,
at this point.
maybe they're not going somewhere else because they don't have other options. Like we've heard Russell Westbrook, another free agent that's out there on the market,
That's
not
true.
a Warriors target as far as we know anyway. But I mean, highly linked to the Sacramento Kings, and Sacramento is, maybe his only option right now. So
Yeah.
why is Russell Westbrook still sitting out there? Because there isn't anybody else signing him.
He
That's
shouldn't have
just
turned down
the
that deal
answer.
last year. He had that player option he turned
He should
down.
have picked that up.
He should have picked that up for sure. And I don't blame him either. He had a good season statistically last year. So I don't blame him. But yeah, that's unfortunate. So this is like the NBA is super cutthroat now, apparently,
Yeah.
because like you have a list of the entire screen currently is all I think guys that are NBA players,
We
right?
haven't even talked about Precious Achua, who's
Yeah,
still
that's my
sitting out
point.
there,
Like all
right?
these guys I think are NBA players. There's just nowhere to put them. And
This
there's nowhere to go.
this is an argument for expansion.
Yeah.
That's what like there's legitimate players sitting out here right now that can't find a team or aren't on a team. Now, are there two teams worth when we talk about expansion? Maybe not, but I mean, we're not far off, right? When you add in some of these guys, bring in some guys who are maybe, the top
Overseas
tier of the
guys.
G League, some overseas players, especially when we're looking at some of the skills that we're seeing in Eurobasket. Yeah, there's an argument here for expansion in terms of the talent pool that is in the NBA right now. I will say with Russ, he's made so much money over the course of his career
Yeah.
that maybe he just wasn't, for whatever reason, maybe he just did not want to be a Denver Nugget. And he's at a point in terms of the amount of money that he's made, he doesn't need to go play. Like, if he would rather look at this, $345 million he's made, and he's done stuff off the court as well over the course of his career. He's good, man. He doesn't need to work. Like, if he decided he didn't have a good time in Denver for whatever reason, great. Hit free agency. Okay, maybe it costs you $1 million. You take $1 million less on a veteran minimum somewhere. But if you're happier when you've made $345 million over the course of your career, you're going to be just fine.
Yeah, and that could be the case. We don't know about the inner workings of things. Maybe that is the
Sure.
situation. But to me, looking at his statistic output, like he had a really good season last year. He had 13, 5, and 6, a steal and a half in 28 minutes.
Mhm.
I think he probably was trying to personally, I think he was trying to angle for a raise. Because if you go back to his salary, which you don't have to do, he was at that 30, 40 million, and then he goes to a minimum and hasn't been able to get off for the last couple seasons. So I was
Right.
wondering if he was trying to get off the minimum as well. But unfortunate that he hasn't found a taker. I thought for sure that he would have found somebody, but that
I did
really
too.
just speaks to how hard of a fit it is to put Russ on. Regardless of the stats, it's just hard to put him on a team.
It is. He's a difficult fit on a team right now, and that's the spot that he finds himself in. Now, Malik Beasley, I think still even with Omax out there on the market, Malik Beasley right now I have I as removing the Warriors connected guys and the restricted guys, of course,
Yeah.
Kaminga and Giddy and Grimes and Cam Thomas, removing the restricted guys and the Warriors connected guys. I have Malik Beasley as the number one free agent on the market. Will be interesting to see where he ultimately lands. After that, it really does slim down quite a bit, but there's some decent players that are still out here to be picked up. So
Yeah.
if your club has an open roster spot, keep an eye on it. And some of these guys may wind up coming into camp, may wind up picking up a spot from there, but they're still, I don't want to say starting level talent because I don't think that's there. Maybe Al Horford could start for the Warriors. Maybe Malik Beasley could start for somebody, but rotation players. And we're in an NBA right now where rotation players are mattering maybe more than ever.
Yeah, definitely. There's some guys that are still free agents that can be okay players in a rotation, like a guy like Ben Simmons. He's frankly, with all the back injuries he's had,
I
he's
forgot about Ben Simmons.
yeah, he's in there too. Like with the injuries he has, honestly, frankly, it's fortunate he's able to still produce at all for you, but he can still come in, be a small ball five, move the ball a little bit, play make a little bit for you in your secondary unit, rebound a bit, play some defense. So he's not gonna be a guy that wins you a game probably
Mhm.
very often, but he can still come in and on a minimum deal provide value to you if you're looking to shore up the end of your roster. There's some other guys like him out here in the pool. And there's guys, if you want to be the 10th team, not really, but the 10th team to take a flyer on Bowl, he's out there. There's guys. It's just, I don't think that there's money or roster spots really. So that's kind of where this crunch is happening too, is all these guys are just out here. So a number of these guys I think are going to be guys that make it to the free agency period, or excuse me, the buyout period midseason again, like I talked about last season, where they maybe try to latch onto a team at that point because there's just not all these guys aren't going to be sitting here. But
Yeah.
on the topic of Beasley, he frankly shouldn't be on this list because he wouldn't have been a free agent if the other stuff didn't happen. He would have been off the board day
Right.
one.
He would have been off the board
So
immediately.
so he's clearly the best guy here. And so I think it's his market at this point, wherever he wants to go, whatever offers he has out there is what he's going to take. But for the rest of these guys that aren't, restricted guys or going to the Warriors, presumably, they're going to be out here for a while. But there's a number of good ones still, I think,
Yeah.
that could make, not like they're going to be super impactful, but they can make these teams and be a guy you go to and you plug in, like we mentioned with Lyles earlier.
Mhm. Mhm. Which definitely matters in today's NBA. All right. Well, here we are. It's the end of August. We are, training camps are going to be right around the corner. We've got Eurobasket in full swing. We appreciate everybody who's been hanging out with us here on the channel. Please make sure you do hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so yet. We're going to bring you all kinds of NBA content all the way up until and through the season. So, again, join us on this journey. Hit that subscribe button. Till next time, everybody. See ya and stay safe.